Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there? YDBT Daily coming at you every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, we're going to talk about a bunch of things. We're going to talk about California cracking down on the Montana license plate loophole. A lot of you know that when Whistling Diesel got hit up by the state of Tennessee for tax evasion, a lot of you guys actually went in on me and you were like, you're gay. You're such a gay, because you know what's crazy? I actually started thinking about this before the show, because before the show I have to, use my brain and think about what I'm going to talk about. It is so weird to me when somebody is attracted to a figure online because they can relate to them, then that person becomes filthy rich. And then you guys are defending a rich guy. You like them because he was poor and relatable. Now he's rich and filthy, and you are defending that rich person when they do rich person things. It's a little bit goofy, no? So when Whistling Diesel bought that Ferrari, registered in Montana, Tennessee hit him up and said, "Hey, you're evading taxes," which I agreed with based on the available information. And a couple of months ago, last month, California went ahead and started going after people that had a lot of these cars in California specifically registered under weird LLCs, and they also went after the dealers. That's an angle I did not think about. When you actually, let's just say, buy the vehicle, then the dealers are complicit in putting the name of that, the owner of that name under that weird LLC in Montana. They are now being implicated in the tax evasion and fraud stuff that's going on. We'll talk about that. Also, Hagerty released a video of a Lucid Air Sapphire versus ZR1X race. It is actually pretty jarring, jaw-dropping, surprising. Not because we didn't think that the ZR1X couldn't keep up with it based on the fact that it runs 8.6 in the quarter mile in a sticky surface. On the street, it stayed with and beat in terms of a race. It got to the finish line first, even though the Lucid Air Sapphire recorded a quicker ET, the ZR1X beat it. It is a wonderful race visually. So you can see how awesome the all-wheel drive platform is on the C8. And there are rumors that they're going to get rid of the 495 horsepower current motor that's in the E-Ray and put in the 500 plus horsepower one that the Grand Sport is going to be having, and they'll call that like the Grand Sport X and get the E out of the name, because a lot of people don't like the E-Ray for the fact that E is for electric, and it has a negative connotation when it comes to Corvette stuff. We'll talk about that and many more things, but not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly tells us to do it live.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It sucks, but the sponsors don't suck. D&Half-Homer, D&Half-Homers.com. Check them out for your tax deals. They have some tax sales. Check them out, D&Half-Homers.com. Injectors, you're going to get wheels, tires. You're going to get your PMAS, cold air intakes, fuel systems, anything and everything you want to buy brand new. You're going to go to D&Half-Performance.com. Belgian Wheels, thank you very much for sponsoring us through the months of March. Check out their lightweight series wheels. They actually have like garage sales where they actually let go of wheels that have been in their warehouse for a long time. Check out BelgianWheels.com for some of those deals, and the lightweight series wheels. The VF5s on the Mustang have been awesome. PMAS, Nick James, PMAS, best cold airs, best map sensors. A little bit of everything going on over there. Their DIY kit is being widely used in F-150 kits. If you bought a F-150 kit from Magnuson, you should be able to get that PMAS kit to supplement that airflow. Oh my God, cookies.com. I think they're shipping me something. I got a notification that they're going to be shipping me some cookies so I can get fat. Over the weekend, check out domagotcookies.com for sex-named cookies. Parts Farm, partsfarm.com. They have been buying up Shelby's left and right. They got a bunch of Gen 1 motors, Boss motors, and Trinities and 5.4s. If you want to do some swap work on your late model project or, early model project, who knows? Two-auto solution. Rami said two-auto solution. Now that we know that we can make 1,000 horsepower with an Eaton equipped Magnuson blower, he's going to get after it, and I guarantee this guy's going to go well into the nines with a truck in Puerto Rico. Check out Water Solution and Belak Industries. Belak Industries. If you want to let everyone know that you sell all the drugs, you're gonna go to Belak Industries and Max Out Lawyer. That's right, Max Out Lawyer. Your Amory lawyer of choice. If you got into a car accident, I don't know, you beat up your wife and you need to get out of jail, he might refer you to somebody. If you got caught in a street race doing hits in Louisiana somewhere, hit him up 337-239-6292. It would be interesting if he actually does refer people to, you know, if in case they get into some trouble or some shit like that. That'd be interesting. And also, we got richprinceusa.com. Collections YDBT. richprinceusa.com/collections/YDBT. You're going to get your Amory and YDBT hats. You're going to get your Dolo, Shiesty, Section 8, new style, Miami style shirts and hoodies. Hush Money shirts and hoodies, ZR50 shirts and hoodies. I still love, this is my favorite shirt. I wear it to the gym and it's just, you wash it a million times. This bitch does not fade. That's one of the key factors of a quality shirt. Booty Juice shirts and hoodies. I can't wear this to the gym because there's a hot dog with biceps on it. It'd look kind of weird for me to wear this at the gym. Shirts and hoodies. Amory, I wear this all the time. Save the Manuals Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, GT350, S650, 85 to 86 Mustang, 87 to 93, 1320 Didios for the guys that want to wear the shirts when they go over to the Philippines or what's the other place? Taiwan, or I don't know where the fuck they went. To go to check out the Lady Boys. F1320, YDBT, Amory shirts, a little bit of everything and all the stickers. Thank you so much, richprince.com, richprinceusa.com/collections/YDBT for being great supporters. Look at that. That is so cool. Could you imagine 10 years ago I would have had a whole merch site? I know. Like, not just no. Like, fuck no. It wouldn't have even been a thing. But I think it's really cool. Let's say hi to the people here, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the tax evasion stuff that's happening in California. Show you the race that Hagerty put out there. It is phenomenal. It's one of those cool, in the street races. And you're gonna start seeing people sell their cars to see if they could put a hefty down payment on the ZR1X. I have a sneaking suspicion Mustang guys are going to flock to that thing because it's familiar to the Mustang people. Big Pop Beachside, Nick Notch, Limonade, Big Pop Beachside, B. Lavesh, Z33, Kemzella, 101 RTR, I'm Hung Solo, Clean Stroke, Rebel Style, Red Bird, D-Work Fox, Joshua, what's up, Joshua? He lost another, 20 pounds from eating Oreos. Crowd Killer, TJ Skorsky, Michael Stewart, Tony the Truck Guy, Jay Swish, Tay Speaks, Mustang Dennis, EPA Amory, Cobra, Nardi Mercado, 2000 MCR, Mark Dial, Busted, 50, Yusuf, Dakota Kid, Kim McAllister, 956 Oscar, Mark Christensen, Joshua Flowers again, Paul P, 956 Oscar, Paul P, 956 Oscar, 956 Oscar, Slow 99, Agent Orange, Peter Chow, Alfredo Diaz, 714 Jova, Luis Torres, MJC Mustang, Jay Walker, what's up, brother? 956 Oscar, Six Hills, Matt Francis, your intake is boxed up. I'm going to ship it tomorrow. 2000 MCR, Mark Sang James, Josh Roy, Winsky 50, Richie, Alfredo, Anthony, Dougie Trey, Boundless Black, Revert Racing, Nathan Robert, Twin Turbo, Stock Block Cobra, maybe? I guess. 956 Oscar, Javier, Nola Shift Connor, Alexi, Don Bean, Craig Walls, Billet, Big Block, D-Rock 5. How's the construction business doing, huh? He's going to be, if he gets like a 4.8 crazy Hemi shit, I'm like, oh yeah, he must have buried a couple of bodies this season. Anthony, second place, is the first loser. Gregory, South Detroit, Chinese Whipple sweatshop worker. Welcome, Jay Walker. How'd you get a break? Shit, maybe he got one of his 2 smoke breaks a week. Okay, let's look at the race first. I was wondering what I should start with, but let's look at the race first. I'm not going to say shit. I'm just going to let you guys enjoy the sights and sounds, and we'll talk a little bit about it. It is a phenomenal race. Just take it all in.
Tubes. Yours is Tubes is.
what just happened? The Lucid Air Sapphire is a $200,000+ sedan, fully electric, 8-second in the quarter-mile car. The ZR1X, $200,000 coupe supercar, all-wheel drive, dual overhead cam, twin turbo, and it beat it on the street. You need to understand what that means. Now, many things happen in this race that I think we could talk about, but they do a great job of explaining it. My favorite thing that happened during this race is that the Corvette driver flipped off the Lucid driver right around here. Watch this. Right there, he flipped him off. Once he saw, I'm next to him. I am next to a Lucid Air Sapphire, the Boogeyman, the new Boogeyman, the ZR1X all-wheel drive variant, pulled on that motherfucker. And I would make the case that if it didn't have the crazy arrow, it would have pulled even more, because you could see that the Lucid Air Sapphire stopped the Corvette's pull. Let's just get to the part where they talk about it stopping the Corvette's pull. Let me see. Let's see, he's pointing and then he flips him off, right? Right there. And then there's a view, I think, from the Lucid Air Sapphire.
In silence, the Corvette at 3,300 RPM with its computer playing tricks to build around 9 psi of boost. If you've ever stood on the shoulder of a friend, the percussive acoustic impact of the Golf blowing between the Lucid and Corvette, that served as the virtual gunshot for their poor tires. Where the M2CS was when it launched.
Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares?
Speed after they both just pulled off. No. How fast, you might ask? Well, right here, the Lucid and Corvette both hit 100 miles an hour, and yet the Golf still hasn't. It's only doing 97. This,
by the way, the Golf R is just under the dark horse for quarter-mile times in Hagerty's list.
This means that the Sapphire and ZR1X can accelerate from a dead stop all the way to 100 miles an hour in the same amount of time it takes the truly quick Volkswagen to accelerate from 60 point, and its goal is just maybe not the grip, as the only them enough to. That pass was nuts.
I want to find the part where they talk about the arrow. I want to see the view from the Lucid Air Sapphire. Here it is, right here.
The Lucid's slippery shape means it keeps accelerating at a slightly higher rate, slowly reversing the Corvette's lead and gaining a couple of miles an hour advantage
right there. The Lucid stopped the pull of the Corvette, meaning if the race would have gone a half mile with the arrow, I think the Lucid Air Sapphire would have beat it
at the end of the run. But ultimately, not catch.
But again, it doesn't matter. Again, the Boogeyman, the new Boogeyman out there is the ZR1X. You're going to see a lot of people sell their cars. I was actually online today and I'm going, why are there so many like turnkey race cars for sale? Like turnkey race cars. So I suspect that a lot of people want to get in on this trend because it's tunable. There are already clutch upgrades for the DCT. If it's already going 8s in the quarter mile, there's going to be a race to the 7th. Someone's going to try to get after it, and that's going to be impressive to see. Texas 2K is next week. You're going to see probably this thing beating things it shouldn't. And this is, people that want to make a name for themselves, they're going to want to debut their ZR1X at Texas 2K, and they're going to start showing you what it can do. And a lot of people are going to be in for a surprise. None of us are. We are the initiated. We understand what this car was. We've been talking about it for years. It's just nice to see it coming to real life where you're like, holy shit, finally, somebody went after it, and it's GM, right? It's not Ford. We're not talking about cool Ford stuff. I don't give a shit what happens with Mustang. Cool. I don't care. The aftermarket is going to make their cars fast, but this car is fast. stock. And that is the difference. And that's why there's so much hype around it. You guys need to understand that I don't care if you put a Pro Charger, blower, Whipple, it does not matter. This car will wreck your shit on the street, at the drag strip, at the road course, in the half mile. I don't care. So it's really cool to see that Corvette went ahead and went after it that way. Now, let's segue into what this could mean if you buy a Corvette in California and register it in Montana. That's right, California charges 14 in the latest crackdown on Montana license plate loophole. The famous Montana, we're going to read the whole thing because I read okay. The famous Montana license plate loophole is an apparently appealing concept. It allows car, boat, and RV buyers to form a limited liability company, an LLC, that is technically domiciled in Montana, and then buy and register their new vehicle in the LLC's name. It's possible to do this without ever stepping foot or turning a wheel in Big Sky country. The next step is to simply slap a shiny new Montana license plate and enjoy. For enthusiasts in high tax states and highly regulated states like California, the Montana loophole can potentially save tens of thousands of dollars. Because Montana assesses no sales tax or state vehicle inspections, nor any emissions rules, the loophole has gotten popular enough that, according to Bloomberg, by 2023, there were more than 2.3 million registered vehicles in, quote unquote, Montana, a state with a population of little more than 1 million and just 879,000 licensed drivers. Other states have taken notice of this and started looking into things last month. For example, California officials posed a 57-count complaint and charged 14 people in a tax evasion scheme related to Montana vehicle registrations. Charges from the California Attorney General's office include conspiracy, filing false tax returns, failure to file consumer use tax returns, perjury by declaration, and money laundering. According to the CDTFA, the agency has also identified 500 dealers involved in more than 2,500 vehicle sales since 2023 to customers claiming to use the vehicles in Montana. It also has opened more than 400 investigations into high-end automobile purchasers and begun nearly 300 audits of dealers related to the vehicle sales to no tax states, including Montana. The main targets, the agency says, are the high-end automobile dealers and their customers through investigations and audits. The CDTFA also claims the so-called Montana loophole cost the state more than $10 million a year in revenue, and 81 criminal investigations since June 2023 have identified 601 fraudulently registered vehicles, resulting in $2.3 million in recovered registration and taxes. As for the 14 individuals charged in this latest crackdown, they're alleged to have submitted false California tax and fee forms, as well as false registration forms and false bills of lading. Some of these false documents claim the cars were for out-of-state use, even as the cars went to California buyers for use in the state. Cars bought in California by Californians for use in California are subjected to taxes, fees, and inspections. Residents owe sales tax on vehicles that are not first used and stored out of state for at least 12 months. The 56-page document put out by the California Attorney General's office includes the charges, and the names of the 14 defendants, some revealing text messages used to build the case. Some of them read as follows, and we're not going to go to the whole thing, but I guarantee stuff like this happen. We'll make it to Montana in 45 minutes. Sent to Santa Clara, blah, blah. Basically, if you have ever registered a car in Montana and not lived in Montana while this is happening, and you lived in a state that is owed those taxes, aka Tennessee and California, you need to ask yourself one question and one question only. Why did you do that? Why, if you own a Bugatti, if you own a Ferrari or a ZR1X, did you register it in Montana? To save money would be the answer? Well, if you saved money by evading those states' taxes, you have committed a felony. That's why I was kind of laughing at the fact that you guys, not you, but some of you guys were literally defending taxation is theft. I get it. I understand that. But the law is the law. So now what's happening is they're enforcing this, because before they were not enforcing it. A lot of you guys think that because a state doesn't enforce it and then they decide to enforce it, that it's wrong. Again, there is a law here, something about not being able to eat pie on Tuesday after a certain time. Okay? Nobody enforces that law. But in Florida, if one day they decide to enforce it, they're like, it's right there. Look, it's right there. Oh, but you never enforced it before, but now we're doing it. And then what people do is they deflect. They go, well, that guy does it. Why don't you go after him? No, I'm going after you. Okay? So a lot of people that were defending these people that were doing the Montana license plate loophole were basically, I don't know, defending felonies. Now, again, we talked about the fact that when fans of, let's say this channel gets going, right? And it's like stupid popular. It's not going to happen because the algorithm does not let real motherfuckers get after it. They let skeetaladerpas get after it that are already rich, right? They were born rich, born with a spoon in their mouth, and all of a sudden you guys think they're one of you, and you support them to the end, which is crazy to me. Whistling Diesel did that. He was a kid that was just blowing up shit, doing dumb shit, and all of a sudden he got big and huge. Now he started acting like he's big shit, and you guys would defend it. And I said, bro, you're getting a little too big for your britches, because if you start doing rich guy stuff and you're obviously not that educated on it, the chickens will come home to roost. And sure enough, he got bad advice from somebody. Now, people in these situations in California, they can potentially fall on the fact that, well, it wasn't me because I can't register anything in Montana. I can't register anything. I'm just a guy. It's usually my accountant or my dealer. And you cannot plead ignorance when it comes to that, because at the end of the day, just because you didn't know does not mean you did not break a law. It's just how it is. You were ignorant to how the law works. So I actually started thinking about the fact that daily driven exotics get away with that in California. Again, do you live in California? Yes. Is the car garaged in California? Yes. Do you drive the car a lot in California? Yes. Then you should pay California vehicle taxes. But they're too expensive, so I leave it registered in Canada, have my Canada papers, but I'm all over California. That's why they get fucked with so much. Because the state knows, okay, maybe we can't get after it in terms of legality because they're in another country, they're registered, but they live here. They garage the shit here. They do business here. So California being California, they're going to try to get their money. Now, am I saying that's morally right? No, I think it's stupid, but it's the law. And that's why I urge you guys to get the fuck out of California. Exactly. DDD's always like, I'm from Canada, eh? I don't understand what your problem is. In Canada, this exhaust doesn't matter. You're not in Canada. If you're going up and down LA somewhere, causing a ruckus, the cops can pull you over. And if they've seen you there a lot, they can make the case via paperwork. I pulled you over 12 times last year in the United States with a car that has been registered in Canada. So that means you are driving this car a lot here. So you have to prove to the state that you don't garage the car here, that you don't live here, that the car is mostly used in Canada. And I suspect that's what they're going after. Rich guys that avoid paying taxes. I get it. You guys want to save money. You have the money. You have the money. If you're flexing about how much money you got, pay what you owe. If the law states you got to pay Tennessee tax on this Ferrari, slap a Tennessee plate on it, pay Tennessee taxes. The state looks at you as, this guy's awesome. He paid us $100,000 in vehicle taxes, so we're going to look at him favorably. But if you say, no, let me register it in Montana, act a fool, do dumb shit, people are going to go, wait a minute. We got a lot of these cameras, flock cameras, that show you driving it in the state. Just because it burned down in another state does not mean you didn't drive it a lot in Tennessee. So you owe us money on that. And they obviously built the case. And he's going to fight it. And I feel he's going to lose. Not necessarily the case. He is losing money fighting that. He should just, like I said, I already told you guys, I went through that whole situation. So I find it funny, the people that defend this. But what I also find funny is, why do you stay in California? If you're a business that makes good money, they don't want you there. Now, I'm not going to urge you to come to Florida, because a lot of people got on my ass saying that Florida is probably the best state to move to for many reasons. Freedom, taxes, development, leisure. Because, before all that Coke money, before all that Northeast money, it was so awesome. It was so awesome. Before all that cocaine money and the North money and the Space Coast money. Where do you think that money came from, Floridians? You know what's funny about Floridians? I love you guys. You guys are great. You guys say, oh, Florida's full. when do you start to reference that Florida was awesome? Like, what is your starting point about when Florida was awesome? Because I'm 48, so I couldn't have experienced Florida until I was in my formative years, so like 86, 87, 89, 88. So if I lived in Florida and I'm, let's say, 50 years old, and I remember Florida in the 80s, it was popping because of cocaine. It was popping because of Walt Disney, Illinois motherfucker. Space Coast was popping because of Northeast ex-congressmen that wanted jobs for the people down here and set up NASA down here. So Florida would be citrus groves, alligators, bobcats, lizards, sand, and fishing and gator bite stands if it wasn't for Northeast money. Right? Am I right? Because what was so awesome about Florida 1955, 1957, 62? No, started popping in the 70s and 80s. Drug money, Northeast money, air conditioning, crazy. So the people that have industry in in California, why don't you move your whole operation somewhere that they want you? I personally want Florida to be a juggernaut, dreadnought, ridiculous city, because the alternative is roaches, gator bites, citrus fields. You know, that's awesome. You could really make a hell of a living doing that shit. You know what I mean? This area now has Jeff Bezos, Zuckerberg. I get it. For whatever you think about them, they're billionaires. And now the Starbucks CEO moved here because he's like, fuck California. This is a California versus Florida thing. So I'm blown away that a lot of these influencers and a lot of these people that have big companies, why doesn't Magnuson move to Florida? Why doesn't Whipple? I know why. China is a lot closer to California than it is the Florida. Because all of a sudden, oh, hello, Whipper. Why are you moving all 3,000 miles a further? Well, we need to move somewhere where that has a better tax base. I understand. But you buy so much aluminum from us. No, we don't buy anything from you. We don't buy a goddamn thing from you. Oh, come on, Barry. Come on, Barry. You buy all these aluminum things every time the road is rub. Right? So why don't these hot rod mega companies move to a favorable state? California doesn't want you there. They don't want you there. They just tax you to death. That place is dying. And maybe if it turns red one day, maybe they'll start to build it and come back. But for now, you got to get the fuck out of there, because I don't understand why people hang out there. Now, in Florida, there are no inspections. There is no state ref. You show up here with a car that has a VIN number. What do? You present your title. They make sure that the VIN matches the title, and you pay your fees and you're gone. And you register it every year or every other year. You renew the registration and pay insurance on it. That's it. See you later. I don't get a tax. You pay a one-time tax when you register the vehicle. There's no use tax. There's no excise tax like there is in Massachusetts, which is a monthly fee that is prorated depending on how long that car was on the road that year. So move somewhere. But no, people would rather live in California and then basically have a tax evasion case put against them because they want to save $100,000 or $200,000 or whatever it is. If you got that much money, I think it's almost worth just to pay it so that you don't get fucked with by the state. But a lot of people think they listen to their accountants. They want to save this money. They think they're all smart. They put this LLC. Dude, they can trace all that shit. You think that because you set up an LLC, you don't think someone can easily find out whose LLC that was? And now with Discovery, the moment they take you to court and they start showing you your text messages, your emails, your receipts with your accountant literally saying you will save $40,000 in taxes if you register it in Montana. You don't even have to live there. Boom, you have basically giving them the case that you're evading the state's taxes. I find it so funny that people defend this behavior because taxation is theft. If you live in California, you've basically signed up to live under a police state, similar to Massachusetts. I got the fuck out of Massachusetts and I had to eat shit. I had to basically lose everything to get the hell out of there and start fresh. I don't understand you guys that are just complacent. You stay where you are because it's comfortable, but you and I both know you ain't growing. The best you can do is work for the Department of Public Works, get a 20 and out, and die at 60 years old on your couch watching college football to a college team that you never went to the college for. Fucking stupid. Weird. So I see these people defending these guys. I see these people doing these things, and I'm mind blown at the thought process of each person, the defenders and the actors. It's crazy and goofy to me. So, are you looking forward to Texas 2K, watching the 01X see what it can do? Are you expecting to see 8-second quarter miles with 01Xs? Are you expecting to see 160 mile, 170 mile an hour roll races? It'll be interesting to see what comes out of that whole situation. And then we'll talk a little bit about tax evasion bullshit and whatever else you want to talk about on this YDBT Daily. Oh man, crazy stuff. Ever looked at a Lucid? Yeah, I mean, it's $200,000. The Lucid's a better car. In that race, the Lucid went quicker. And the Lucid was still accelerating. It's a 5,000 pound fucking tank. Okay? And it's right there with the best ICE/hybrid car they can build. The best, most modern thing got beat by time-wise, not visually, but time-wise. The Lucid Air Sapphire was quicker. So if you were to put a gun in my head and go, okay, which one of them is the better vehicle? The Lucid Air Sapphire. By far. Just dropping a like and I'll catch you replay in the morning with my coffee on my way to work. Have a good night, Amory. Love that. DDE are Canadian and live in Canada, but have a shop in Cali. When did they leave Cali? I thought they stayed in Cali. I wanted Air Sapphire, but they held too much value for me. That's funny. Shit like that would make me move out of a state. That's like people doing the deletes and tunes for diesels. The president's cars are deleted and tuned. Oh my God. Could you imagine you having the thought process? Like your brain makes this connection. Well, the president's car doesn't have a DPF, so why should mine? Like, you know, some of the funniest memes I see is like, thank God I got these cardboard straws so we can save the planet. Then you see us bombing the shit out of Iran, and they make a bunch of sense. But look, in all honesty, it's do what I say, not what I do when it comes to the government. I was offered to move to LA for work. Absolutely not. I'll change companies long before I move to that freaking state. North Carolina, property tax alone is making me move. Oh, state tax as well. Well, the nice thing about Florida is they're trending in the right direction. The problem is this. Florida's at a crossroads. You're going to see this guy, James Fishbon, young guy, speaks well, hates Jews. So Slow 99 loves him. And he wants Florida to be citrus groves and fucking cows and bobcats. And Byron Donalds doesn't. But I hate how Byron... You're going to think I'm retarded. But we all have our quirks. I don't like how Byron Donalds drinks coffee. It pissed me off watching him drink coffee. Byron Donalds drinks coffee. He basically swallowed that fucking cup. Byron Donalds drinks espresso in Miami. He just swallowed that whole fucking thing. I was like, why are you swallowing the cup? I got to find that clip. Byron Donalds drinks espresso. Oh, fuck. I got to find it. Trump endorsed Byron Donalds. South Florida calls for Cuban regime. President Trump. Nah, I'll find it. If someone can find me the clip of Byron Donalds literally drinking espresso, even like, you don't eat the cup, bro. So anyway, long story short, he is the MAGA candidate, and Lawrence, whatever the other guy's name, James, I think, Fishbomb, whatever. He wants Florida to become like it used to be. So he's gonna push away industry. So I'm like, no, we don't want that motherfucker in there. I'm good. What did it say here? Not 20, not dead. Don't know what he's talking about. New Florida law on the governor's desk allows cops to give you a ticket for exhaust noise levels. That is not a new law. They're going to enforce current law. There is already a noise restriction in Florida. They're just going to enforce it. That's all they're going to do. I drive through Port St. Lucie. I idle that shit. I support that. I support cops in Gardens, Riviera, Jupiter, pulling over dipshits that have burble tunes and shotgun flame decel tunes. Pull them all over. And a guy with a Mustang ripping it through town like a dipshit also should get pulled over and get a ticket for noise laws. I am an adult. So if I'm going to go rip it somewhere, it'll be way the fuck out west. I don't do it in the middle of a very busy street. So if you're going to do dumb shit, you get a ticket. No problem. If I drive through Port St. Lucie, I'm not revving past 3,000 RPMs. I'm not doing wide open throttle. I'm driving like a normal fucking person. But if you have decel shotgun tunes, burbles, and you accelerate like a dumbass in a populated area, you should get a fucking ticket. I lived in Cali for 15 years. Every 2 years, smog and taxes. Moved to Missouri and just pay property tax on my car. And I could run their exhaust out the hood and tune it to the moon. I don't care. Here, there's so many bumper exit Mustangs here because there are no emissions laws in Florida. So awesome that if in your files you protected in the USA and NASA, I don't know what he's talking about. Florida is the new Cali. Not really. And Florida got Alejandro Flores. Yeah, okay. You don't want me to be on your radar or vice versa. I'm a nobody here, okay? I just know that the people that live here enjoy. Okay. If you're like a bring Florida back to what it used to be type of guy, okay, cool. Tell me, what do you do on the weekend here? Do you go and look at the fucking citrus trees somewhere? Do you go to a shack where they sell gator bites and boiled peanuts and, patriate them? Or do you go to the nice big strip mall with air conditioning? Then you go to the big, beautiful beach resort and get a massage there. And you go out to their private beach and you sit down on their chair with a little umbrella and they bring you food. What do you do? Tell me what you do. Huh? Do you patriate the bowl peanuts and Gator Shack shit? Or do you enjoy the amenities, all of the money that came here, has? All the access to all those things. So I love these Floridians that talk all this shit about, oh, yeah, I don't even go to the beach here. No, but you go to all the nice malls. You go to all the nice shops. You go to the nice restaurants. Do you think they were brought here by, like, native Floridians? Do you think the Tamiami tribe has a fucking restaurant somewhere? Fuck out of here. And if they do, it sucks. I love the people that, keep Florida. Boy, you're 40. Florida has been a drug Disney Northeast money thing for 50 years. Stop it. As a synagogue was just reporting, shut up. Yeah, what are you going to do? You could use tire selection for different driving situations. You could use tire selection for different driving situation for a topic someday. Why the fuck would I want to do that? Well, do I just want to, bore the shit out of people? Hey, guys, today we're going to talk about tire technology. The R888s are not really a drag radial. They're more used for this, and they're kind of done. People go to sleep. I'm good. There's probably a noise ordinance law in every state. That's the crazy part. Some places don't enforce it. James Fishback is a 31-year-old rage-baiting Gen Z backfool. I agree. He goes on a Sneeko podcast, and I'm like, or live stream, and I'm like, Sneeko? Out of all people, you can listen to Sneeko? Come on, get out of here. If your car's screaming, look at me, fun fact, cops are going to look at you. Peter Gow says, Joshua, you obviously never read the exhaust laws in Florida. It literally says any modification of the exhaust to make it louder than the manufacturer's equipment is illegal. It's rarely enforced. That's it. It's just not enforced. My exhaust needs to be a certain way for performance and not grenade my engine. With that said, though, I'm almost embarrassed by my exhaust. I keep it under 3,000 everywhere in town, and cops are cool. Right. I've had Corsa blow my dicks. I have MagnaFlow streets. I have Collier can never be a street car unless I put mufflers in it. None of my cars have been obnoxiously loud. They've been crisp. They've had a nice tone to them, but none of them have just been loud. The Fairmont was loud, but when you drove it like a normal person, it sounded like an old muscle car. So the cops are going to look at you on a case-by-case basis, obviously, right? If you see a Honda, just pull them over. Just pull them over. Hey, cop, just pull them over. Fuck it. Because chances are they're into some bullshit or there's weed in the car. Just pull them over. I'm cool with it. BMW, burble tune, right to jail. D-cell shotgun tune, repo the car. Impound that shit. And say, I don't know what this is. It ain't stock. Because nothing goes boom, 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 bang, bang, bang on D-cells. Stock. Yeah, it does. Shut up. I can't wait for all these cars to be off the road. So it's just going to be muscle cars and like twin turbo cars that are quiet. But Alex, Jake goes fishing. That's the thing, right? That's a great example. Great example. Never goes fishing. Gets into fishing, stops fishing. Like the people that have been here for a very long time, unless you're 85 and you remember 1950 something in Florida to 1970, and you can tell me why Florida was better in 1955 through 1970, don't tell me anything about Florida used to be great. Because in 1971, Disney showed up. NASA was doing bullshit here for a long time. That is Northeast money. All of these South Florida hotels and all that, drug money. All of the restaurants, all the pizza joints. The mob came down here and tried to get some of that action. The mob from New York. Okay? So stop telling me that you like how Florida used to be when Florida has never been what Florida was since 60. When the Northeasterners were like, you know what? There's this crazy thing called air conditioning and we could actually be down there. It's ripe for growth. And now that has become what Northeasterners like and Northerners like. And what do they have that Floridians and the Tamiami tribe and the whatever the Wa and the whatever this and the Seminole and this and that? Money. Did you like how it was when the Tamiami tribe was running shit? Nah? Well, I like how Florida used to be. So what happens if you see a alligator? A crocodile, salt water, I get it. Let's say you're a Floridian that loves Florida and you're walking, you're like, oh shit, an alligator, boom. Oh shit, a bobcat, pow. Oh shit, a jaguar, boom. A bear, hit it with your car, right? You kill what happens down there. It's crazy stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of blown away by that whole situation. Unfortunately, California is going after those rich idiots. Yeah, exactly. So that senior getting caught up on everything. This damn Florida heat makes my Gen 2 feel slow as junk right now. Plus Tampa traffic is retarded. Makes you not want to go for a drive. Okay, you need to understand. Fucking Tampa is basically South Georgia. I'm going to pass on that. In Louisiana, there are 2 parishes that do emissions testing. There's a spot on the inspection sticker for it, but if you register in any other parish, you're good. That's so weird, right? It's like the ozone only travels in a parish. Well, the Aaron. What the fuck are the parishes called down there? Parish names in Louisiana. List of parishes. Parish. Stupid. Call it a county or something. It's dumb. Where the fuck are the parishes? Acadia. You know, the air in Acadia is much better than the air in Allen. The air that flows through it. Oh, fuck. I love it. The air in Acadia is better. It's like when the movie Spaceballs, when they had like air in a can. What a movie. Public Works for 20 years and died at 60. My bad. I was happy. Yeah, like a lot of people, they hear me and I get hit up all the time about this stuff. I'd move to Florida, but I got a so did I. Not kids or anything, but I have a family. Fuck them. Like, bye. Peace. I want my life to mean something. I want to thrive. I want to see what's the best I can do. Oh no, I like the pizza joint in the corner. My cousin's here. My dad's here. Oh, great. So just spin your wheels until you can't. And then one day you're going to say it's too late. I'm fat, stupid, and old, and I can't go, and I don't want to start fresh in Florida. Okay, cool. Cool story. But officer, these Corsa blow my ass are 50 state legal. I did hear about guys in Lambos getting tickets in Miami for just using sport mode on a stock car. I guess stick to the comfort in the city. When you go to Miami, you shut the fuck up. When you idle your Lambo, your anything in Miami, standing out makes the cops go, because there are billionaires down there. And now they're starting to say, hey, I didn't buy a $1 million pad so that I can hear douchebag diesel guys and idiots revving their Hellcats, Trackhawks, Raptors, whatever. No, we need it quiet here. We want it. So if you're in the city, shut the fuck up. But if you're out in the rural areas, do whatever the fuck you want. When I'm around the city, I'm not revving anything. When I go to downtown Clematis, because to rev it is to cause attention to come to you. Why are you revving it? It's not a carbureted car. You need to clear it out. What are you doing? You want attention. Congrats. Cops issue you a ticket. There's your attention. Full ARH exhaust is the best. Could be a controversial take. Nobody cares. My 7 dealership. Oh, what the fuck? My dealership's owner has an Escalade V, bone stock, and it pops and burbles on deceleration. Drive it like a normal person. Alex, explain it to me like I'm quirky. I live in La Force Parish. Blame the La Douche. The issue in South Florida, especially if you don't have the cool shit being built, it's just a bunch of plywood, Lennar, Dr. Horton housing developments. Wrong. There are codes here. Everything has to be CBS. Everything has to be concrete block, some bullshit, right? The problem with South Florida is a good house that you can buy anywhere else for $250 to $320 is $550 to $700 here. That's it. But you need to understand, come here, check out the area between Jupiter and let's say Hollywood, and tell me you don't find it very appealing to move here. Please, if I implore you guys, if you actually decide to just check out Florida, don't go to the trendy areas, Miami. You're going to hate it. You say, it's too much money. It's way too many black people. That's what you're going to say. But then you come to Palm Beach County, and every girl that I date that comes up here, they go, you know why I like it up here? I go, let me guess. A lot of white people that know how to act. She goes, yeah. I go, ain't that some shit? You get out of Miami, and you don't hear reggaeton. You don't hear montón de bulla, mucha bullshit, chume, nothing. What you hear is people talking in a inside voice. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, I had a great time yesterday. Yeah, hi, nice to see you. You go to Miami, the volume goes way up, and the static, there's always like a problem. So go out there and just walk around, drive around Palm Beach County, and tell me you wouldn't go, I would kill to live here. Do it. Austin, Texas just started enforcing loud mufflers. The Acreage neighborhood I live in, South Space Coast, was a 50s development. Oh my God. If it was built in the 50s, it's twigs. But he says the Acreage neighborhood I live in South Space Coast was a 50s development exclusively for retired New York cops. So yeah, he's right about Northeast money. You guys need to understand, I'm not wrong about this. Florida, the way it is now and the way it was since the 80s was either drug money or Northeast money, full stop. Jersey, Boston, New York, Pennsylvania. That is where the most, the vast majority of people came down, retired. By the way, there's a huge hospital industry. There's the hospitals everywhere, nurses everywhere. Half of these motherfuckers dying are Northeast people. The old money is Northeast people. You don't see people here from Montana. You don't see people here from Illinois unless you're in Tampa. Oh yeah, a lot of people in Tampa are from Illinois, Chicago, Detroit. That's why I avoid Tampa at all costs. Ain't no money up there. Fuck out of here. Not that I got money, but I want to be around money. Dark Helmet. I can't breathe in this thing. 01X will dip into the 820s, I think, but this is my question, Tio. How much does that motor have in it? That's a great question, Jay Swish. With race gas, MS-109 or Sunoco 260, these guys are making 1,200 rear wheel horsepower on the ZR1X. So the problem is going to be the fuse, the DCT. The DCT is going to be a problem. There's no Bad Bunny up here. Bad Bunny is not a thing in Palm Beach County. And if it is, it's like in the ghetto. Downtown West Palm, you don't hear no fucking Bad Bunny. And the girl that was up here a while ago, she was like, I love it here. It's nice and quiet and white people. I'm like, right? You go up to Tampa and it's Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit. It's that white trash shit. I'll pass on that stuff. I live in one of the biggest shitholes in the country, Alabama. And they don't give a shit what you do. No emissions or noise laws. I guess it does have its perks if you're a car guy. I did notice there wasn't many black people in Jupiter other than Tiger Woods. Where'd you see him? In a ditch somewhere? Because that's the only place you see Tiger Woods outside. In a ditch. My Gen 3 2 Turbo is quieter than a stock and it'll smoke 90% or more of the loud ass shit here. I love it. Make sure you visit Liberty City if you come to Florida. You want to see old Florida? Belle Glade. Go ahead. You love old Florida? Yep. Old Florida is way better than New Florida. Belle Glade. Belle Glade. Belle Glade. Belle Glade. Yep. Oh, perfect. This. Hell yeah. Belle Glade, Florida. Hell yeah. Old City Hall. Man, you know, I remember back in the day, before all these stupid Northeasterners came down here, I used to love Belle Glade. Man, that shit was popping. I get my gator bites. I get my gator bites and go to this fucking shanty. And then, you know, go to this other shanty. And then go to this other shithole. And then this shithole had the best. Man, let's go to, boy, Finfrock. Oh, my God. You remember that time Belle Glade had Finfrock here? Yeah. Look at the culture. Look at the just fantastic old, the Gold Eagle Bar. How could I forget the Old Eagle Bar? The Golden Eagle Bar. Fuck out of here, Floridians. Belle Glade was your past. Okay? And you know what's your future? Palm Beach County. Freaking dreadnought. Like a scene from Star Wars when this is like, you see the ship, right? Like the ship starts and it's just like, just all city, just like, that it doesn't stop. You think he keeps going. Then the bridge, it's just a big city. You don't understand. You Florida guys been here a little too long. You got used to what got built around you by the people with the money and the know-how, the Northeast people. You think the Cubans that came over on the raft built this motherfucker? Fuck out of here. Belle Glade is the most Florida name I've ever heard. Left Florida 10 years ago to move to the Cayman Islands for work. It's nice here, but I yearn for South Florida to this day. I live in Rhode Island and I live in Rhode Island, go hard in town and in the city. Let's go. My uncle had the exact one of his current GA house built in Florida, where his boat is mid $700,000 for $1.2 million-ish. Florida, 3 years difference in building them. Same crew built for, I don't know what the fuck you just said. Half the OG houses have been flattened and rebuilt. Mine was. The shitty houses were passed down in the family. Lake City ain't nothing nice either. Belle Glade is like science fiction moved where time stopped. ZR, you psycho, but thank you for the sentiment. You can super chat, but not afford pay. Not afford pay. Yeehaw Junction. You know, I really miss the old Florida. Really? What part? Yeehaw Junction. You know, before these New Yorkers came down here and gave us air conditioning, restaurants, awesome Italian food, there was this place called Yeehaw Junction. Remember the Stuckies? Remember the, whatever the fuck this was? Yeah, that was so cool back in the day. Remember that weird building in the middle of nowhere that said motel, good food, and bar? Actually, I went to the one that said bad food. My bad. This was the landmark of Yeehaw Junction. When you think of Yeehaw Junction, you think of this fucking dilapidated building with air conditioners in the window units. Okay? Don't talk to me about old Florida when this was Yeehaw Junction. But Alex, what we liked about old Florida is what it didn't have. Air conditioning, traffic, restaurants, good restaurants, good-looking women. I bet those restaurants have the best diarrhea around. Belgrade looks like they still have separate... Yeah, and I love you guys. I love you, native Floridians. Meanwhile, your ancestry is Irish. So like your dad came down from New York. Like most of the guys that I know, they're like, oh yeah, I love how it used to be. Oh, where are you from? Oh, my dad was from New York. Oh, shut up. To be fair, he said he's gonna join Patreon. I love it. My uncle E got his house torn down at blah blah blah. Way after he supposedly died. Don't know what he's talking about. Encyclopedia of Southern Jewish Communities. Ryan Doyle. McCanopy is founded in 1821. It's the oldest inland town in Florida. 1822, Moses Elias Levy, a Moroccan-born Sephardic Jew. Are you saying Jewish? Wild work, Ryan Dole. I heard most Floridians weren't born in Florida. Wonder what percentage that might be. Look, I'm just saying that if you're in California right now, what do you got to lose? Think about that. If you're under 45 years old, you still can get around okay. Okay, you're not old by today's standards. If you're under 45 years old and you have a skill, hell, if you get into air conditioning, you don't have a job here. You can get your own company. You can pool cleaning. There's a guy that cleans the complex's pool every morning. He's out there. And I asked him, is this lucrative? He goes, I need people. I said, you need? He goes, the hardest thing to find in Florida is people that are willing to work. Get up early, clean some pools. They can make good money. And I'm like, huh. So you do it by yourself? He goes, mostly. I said, you have a lot of accounts? He goes, not a lot because I can't take on all that work, but I do well. Brand new, beautiful Tundra, nice trailer. And you see all these other guys with air conditioning companies and pool, air conditioning, pool maintenance, and landscaping. You can make it in Florida. The guy that bought South Georgia Motorsports Park, Raul Torres, I think his last name is, landscaping. Became a very successful landscaper. Got out of Florida. Went and bought a track in Georgia. And I guarantee, if you were to ask him, I get it. You brought your whole family up there and that's a dream. Do you miss Florida? He's like, bro, I miss the food. Just the food alone I miss. And I'm like, I get it. 100%. You know, it's a real Florida shithole when the AC in the window and a chair facing the bed that smells like, oh my God, stop it. I almost read the whole thing. Ryan Dole says, stop it. Damn, I almost missed another live. Ladies and gentlemen, we found the real Israel McCanopy, Florida. It was promised to them thousands of years ago. My ex's parents have a female come clean their pool. Old Florida still exists. It's called Louisiana. Florida companies put you up in circus. Don't forget wood chipper and pressure washing, wood chipping, and you can like have a concrete business, millionaire status. If Craig Wall set up shop down here, he'd have a pro mod. There's just so much work. And if they open up Cuba, bro, there's going to be so many bodies you got to wood chip and bury or make part of I-95. You're driving on 95, but this area is kind of red. It's a little lumpy, but you know, shit's got to get done. My dad cleaned the pool in our subdivision for the summer and made $4,000 a summer for one pool. Pool cleaning is lucrative, and this pool is a big freaking pool. So I don't understand the people that complain about where they live. Right now, this is the problem, especially with you people in the north. You're starting to get out of that winter slumber. You're starting to get fooled again, where you're like, oh, I like this. Look at the flowers and look at the mud. And okay, all the leaves are gone. And look, the leaves are on your sneezing and there's tree jizz all over your car. But you get fooled. This is the time of year where you get fooled up north, where you're like, oh, it's beautiful. The grass grows really fast. It's really pretty and green, right? And then you got 3 months of that. Then it becomes a hot hellhole. Then here comes the fall. Here comes the snow. And you're like, And then you see videos of me in January going, what's up, guys? Getting my coffee Saturday morning. Let's go out with Section 8 and do some 60 to 130 pulls. And you're like, fuck. Why do I go through this every year? Why do I fool myself into staying in this freaking shithole? And California people, look, they're screwing the state and the state's screwing you back. And they're kicking you out. And I wonder why you stay. Look, who's in California in terms of manufacturers? Google, Apple, I think Magnuson, I think Vortec, I think Whipple. I think all of them are over there. Do you know how much warehouse space is over here? You know how much money is over here? But people, for whatever, and they're kicking you. They don't want ICE cars over there. You need to understand what's happening. You have to ship. I guarantee you ship the vast majority of your product out of that state. So if you got to ship the vast majority of your product out of that state to make money, get out of that state and go to a state that it's more lucrative, gives you better deals, gives you better tax benefits, tells you, hey, we'll give you, this building at this tax for 10 years if you bring your whole shit here. You got to understand, like, Florida is being extremely aggressive bringing businesses here. And I love it because I understand how a city grows, and it doesn't grow with mom and pop shops at the end of the day. That's what keeps, I guess, the big company people here. But you got to bring big money here so that the mom and pops thrive, because the mom and pops don't make a place thrive. The big business thrives, like a brake pad company, right? If a brake pad company is in town and it goes away, the pancake shop is closed, the corner store is closed, all that shit is closed. Just no more tinters, please. We're full. Certified tinter. Yeah, you guys, but a lot of them suck down here, bro. Like, a lot of them suck down here. It's like finding you gotta go. It's like finding a good pizza shop. Apparently, there's one that opened up in North Palm that's supposed to be badass. I'm gonna go there Saturday. Check it out. Concrete business totally not dumping bodies in the foundation. I know a pool guy in Boca laughing at my white collar ass. Right? How much, heathen? How much does the pool guy in Boca make monthly? Do you think? The house got a shitter outside. Don't pool boys get all the toto? They do, and it's old toto. Nice, nasty toto. Big Daddy Patty says, I'm taking my plumbing license exam in Florida next week in the next year or two. Plan on moving there from Missouri very soon. Tired of people around me pretending like it's good here. It's not good there. It sucks there. It's good here. California charges you for leaving. Oh my God. Yes. What do they call it? There's a name for that. The tax California levies on you for leaving the state. It's called an exit tax. Residency audits, proposed wealth tax, and severing ties to avoid residency. So residency audits. So what they'll do is they'll if you leave, like if you're a big business and you leave a state like California, because we're talking about how they went after people that licensed their cars in Montana, and I think Senior's watching the show because he said, idiots then purchase the vehicle. Oh, okay. So the issue seems to be that if you bought your vehicle in California and then registered it in Montana, then that can lead to California saying, well, the dealers were complicit in the registering process to the Phantom LLC over in Montana. Because you never buy them where you want to evade the taxes. You know what I mean? Do you think transporting dead dads in the trunk for my concrete guy is a good financial decision? California is the largest manufacturing state. Just say, right. And it's probably awful to operate there. I'm not saying it's not. Just because it is does not mean it's gonna be. People are leaving like crazy. People buy products in California, legal or not, people mod their cars. I get it. I understand it's a huge state. But in terms of running a business, who runs a business down there? Who runs a business in California? And then you're like, dude, this place is just killing me. If I had this yearly tax situation, I would be better off. I can grow, blah, 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 blah. Craig Walls, who doesn't say much, actually says, Southern Delaware is equivalent to Palm Beach County in the mid-Atlantic. This place is blowing up due to baby boomers retiring from Penny, Maryland, D.C., VA, etc. Right, you guys are taking that government money. You guys are taking that lobbying money, that Washington, D.C., Washington adjacent VA money, and they're retiring to where you're at because there's a tax thing going on there. You need a big business in your neighborhood like Walmart? Hell no. Weather will always be better in San Diego. Cool. So will the taxes will be higher. So will the crime. So will the crime. Dude from Missouri, me too. Callahan, exactly. Callahan brake pads for the win. Your membership locked in for Patreon. Thank you, 956 Oscar. Let me see if I got a notification. Bro, this guy paid a year. 151 doll hairs. Shit. Love that. What is this? Some guy just sent me a bunch of photos. Some guy just sent me a whole bunch of photos from, I think it's Shop. You've got me wanting to move to Florida and use my commercial refrigeration skills down there, currently in North Carolina. I don't know how North Carolina is in terms of like, it's beautiful, I'm sure. It's beautiful, I'm sure. I don't have a good sense of what it's like to say that it's better here. But I know someone that moved there and came right the fuck back. So many people. I hear the same. You know how many times I hear this? Man, I want to get the fuck out of here. I want to get the fuck out of here. And then they move somewhere else and they're like, oh shit. Y'all close at 9:30? Yeah, we close at 9:30. Why? Well, South Florida, we never close. Like, you can get a cafecito at 3 a.m. in Miami. You can get the best Cuban sandwich at 4 a.m. in Miami. And yeah, North Carolina, 9:30. 9. Done. People are in bed. Illinois has exit tax. I'm also in St. Louis. Missouri, nicknamed the Missouri for a reason. Misery. My wife and I are also planning exit to South Florida. Paul Sachs. If it wasn't for my kids. Who runs the show there? If it wasn't for my kids. That's an excuse. Give your kids a better future by getting the fuck out of there. Let me finish ruining my kids' shit education in wherever the fuck I am right now, and then I'll move. How do you work outside in Florida without dying in the summer? You can do it. It's not that bad. I work outside. I work on my cars outside. 95 degrees. So you sweat. Put a fan on your shit. Hydrate. We're men here. And this is the nice thing about Florida that you guys probably didn't think about, right? It's 24/7, 365 because weather is not an excuse. Unless there's a tornado, unless there's a hurricane, you have no excuse why you can't work. Up north, snow, ice, nor'easter. Unless there's a hurricane and that shit's over in 8 hours. Whoosh, next, go. It's 24/7, no excuse not to work constantly in Florida. There is no cold shit. There's nothing. You have to work. So if I'm outside in the garages, in a hot box, working on my shit, you can come down here and do some work. And I'm a dumbass. Mass is just cold, miserable Cali. I own a house in Granite and got another in St. Charles, St. Peter's. Even the nice areas suck. The only good thing is the hardest place to get plumbing license in the country, so pays good. Granite got another. St. Charles, St. Peter's. Don't know what that is. Are you talking about Louisiana? I work in IT. I work remotely for Bailey's casinos. Oh, then what about your kids? What the fuck do you... School? What grade are they in? What grade are they in? Mass Simpson 86. Kenny Bell is in Cali. Well, Kenny Bell's done. It ended up becoming AccuFab. He and one guy half-time, 25,000 a month, just residential service. He's got a few commercial contacts, probably worth similar. Shit. Let's go. Pool work. Alex, I have a 17 GT and I just bought it, and it came with a Shelby 350 intake and throttle body. In your opinion, is it worth it to put on my car or sell it just to fund NA daily? It'd be fine. It's not going to hurt it. It's going to make a little bit more power, but it's not going to make like 40 more horse. It's going to make maybe 20. Illinois sucks ass, but we have the most nuke plants, and they pay the bills. There's a lot of nuke plants here. How many nuclear power plants are there in Florida? Question mark. 4 reactors by FP&L. St. Lucie, Turkey Point, Crystal River, and another one's being decommissioned. So active 2. So yeah, maybe you're right. It's if you're in the nuke shit, but they have a ton. Like how many power plants are in Florida, like in general, not nuclear? Jesus Christ. Florida has over 150 power plants, with natural gas being the dominant source, fueling approximately 75% of the state's electricity generation. Key infrastructure includes nearly 50 utility-scale natural gas facilities, multiple nuclear plants, St. Lucie and Turkey Point, and a growing number of solar and waste-to-energy facilities. Waste-to-energy is very interesting that they do here. Basically, they burn trash, and it makes power. The Carolinas have junk weather. Stay away from anything Carolina. He's probably saying that because he loves it. Oklahoma's a cool state. I'm a trucker. I go to Central Florida often. He said Oklahoma's a cool state. Deal, remember when Valley 10-Speed moved out of California because he was tired of all the bullshit? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, he moved to Arizona. North Carolina, gray skies, absolutely depressing. I'm staying in Florida, says EPA Amory. I'm leaving PA this year for Florida or Georgia for us. Still trying to find the right place. Georgia might be fine if you like more rural shit. Not leaving my kids. Oh, you're divorced. Oh, that's different. Everything closed at 11 p.m. here in Ohio except for the gas stations. Yeah, I get it. Same with Missouri. I'm part of the divorce decree. Damn. Just give up the kids, bro. Just sign them over. You can have more. Do it like Alex and add an AC in your garage and keep working. That's what I did. I just got a portable unit, stuck it in there, stuck the hose out, and it gets down to 79 in there in 95-degree days. Still with Lund? Of course. Why wouldn't I be with Lund? What, are you crazy? Of course. If I'm ever not with Lund, I'd let you guys know. But there's no reason not to be. Look, I am bolstering this because I just don't see Mustang selling a lot. I don't see a lot of tuning with 24 and up Mustang. F-150 is very strong. But I'm not stupid. I read the tea leaves. I'm like, I see what's happening. The industry is changing. It's not 2011. It's not 2013. It's not 2016 anymore. It's not 2020 anymore. It's different now. Keep reading, Mass Sims. I don't want to keep reading. It's just make your point quick. What does it say here? Not leaving my kids. Part of the divorce decree. I'm divorced. Okay, there. I read. We just timed a fleet of trucks for a local AC company that in less than 10 years had expanded to 5 locations throughout Central and South Florida. You mean tinted? Gotcha. So we just tinted a fleet of trucks for a local AC company that in less than 10 years had expanded to 5 locations throughout Central and South Florida. I'm telling you, if you're ambitious and you're in the right business, you can absolutely thrive in Florida. You can make money hand over fist, and it's not stopping. They're all coming here. It's going to be the financial hub of the U.S. It's going to be crazy luxury condos, crazy luxury shit. Just going to be crazy growth in the next 5 years. Why? Because it's going to suck everywhere else, and people are going to just flock here. So get in now. I'm cool with it. Let it grow. Good evening, Alex and Amory to the show. What's up, JD Swag? I've switched to more schools than there are grades to attend. Trust me, those kids will be okay. It's the divorce thing. Is MS109 260T boosted 2300 93 279mm upper okay to run it in a special ratio? It doesn't matter really. 260 GT is 14, 2 or 3 stoic. MS109 is like in the high 13s if I'm not mistaken. You can mix them or just run it straight to have the best effect. I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, 4-1, 3-1. If you mix some in, it'll help, but I'm not sure. I haven't made the test where I'm like, 5% MS109. Dude, if you can just swing half and half, do that. Georgia, outside of large cities, small town America, tons of cotton plantations still. Sheesh. Yes, North Carolina's really nice at times, and maybe 1 hour from the mountains, 3 to 4 hours from the beach, but I'm sure Florida has better weather the majority of the year. Yes. Only now it's starting to get a little hot, but I like it. I like the heat. Which cities are the best to live in Florida? Okay, based on my experience, avoid Orlando like the plague. It is becoming like an anthill. Orlando is literally an ant hill. It is just bullshit on top of bullshit, and it's expanding to the point where it's looking like a virus is expanding in that area. The traffic is insanity. I-4 is insanity, and it's centrally located, so it's just shit. In my opinion, based on what I've experienced between Jupiter and Boca is the best place to live. There's a bunch of little towns in between there. There's Lantana, there's Green Acres, there's Lake Worth, there's Boynton. Those Boynton and Lake Worth seem to be growing a little bit too fast for the infrastructure, but they do pretty well. If you want to buy a house, you're going to start looking into Loxahatchee. You're going to start looking into West Palm. You're going to start looking into west of 95 Lake Worth. You're going to start looking into west of 95 Boynton, Wellington, Royal Palm, places like that. And I think the schools are good in those areas and you should be okay generally, depending obviously where you live. Boynton's a little dark. Lake Worth's a little dark. Forget Riviera. I live in the outskirts of Riviera, right up against Gardens. Gardens is perfect if you can afford to live in Gardens. Live in Gardens. Juneau is big money. Okay, it's a beach town. Jupiter, it's big money. You're either poor or you're rich as fuck. There is no middle ground there, so I would avoid those unless you got it or you want to live with a bunch of Mexicans in a big hut somewhere. The only good thing about here in Houston is the racing scene and the Mexican food. Bro, I lived in Houston. Mexican food was trash. I think the Asian food was better than the Mexican food was there. Was watching the replay on the last live and made me want to coyote swap my 92 at 1500. Your Corvette is going to be fun. Yeah, so I've learned a lot about plumbing. And I think if you work on your own vehicle, I used to dread hating on working on that thing because I'm like, fuck. But I must admit, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about plumbing. I've learned a lot about turbo plumbing and routing, about relocating things, the size lines you need, making hose, PTFE. And some guys like, PTFE is fine to work on. Then why do they give you a fucking slug that you got to slam this little stupid thing into the plastic thing? Yeah, that's cool. Just slamming this fucking thing and that's awesome. Anyway, I learned a lot. And now I have to find a spot for the control pack, the body harness. I ran the OBD2 port and pedal line into the cabin. And it's like, okay, took the fender off. I have more room. I'm going to relocate the PCM. And there's a lot of things to do. But the next thing to do is to plumb the oiling for the turbos. And once I do that, I'm going to turn the engine over with oil in it, obviously. Just chugga, wire the starter up. And test the plumbing, pressure test the plumbing for the oiling system. I want to make sure there's oil getting to the filter, oil getting to the turbos, oil draining back, and that there are no leaks. And that's going to be the next big test of that setup. And once I know the oil and everything is getting to where it needs to go and the scavenging pump is working properly and everything's good, then I'm going to start getting the car, fuel system is next. Then you have to, after the fuel system, then you got to finish the control pack. And once you get the car running roughly, then it's tidying everything up. Like, let's tidy this up. I'd love to get that car idling before June. It's going to be tough because I'm by myself. So I'm going to do the best I can. But I have now reprogrammed my brain to look at that as a learning experience as opposed to a pressure to get it running. I'm like, let me learn, let me route it nicely, let me do the best I can, let me learn a little bit about this so that in the event that anyone asks me a question about line routing, turbo, line size, type of fitting, manifold, distribution, vacuum distribution blocks used for oil and for the wastegate routing and turbo controller things, I at least can learn from it because it's just a lot of fucking work and I can only work on it after work, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It sounds like a lot, but it really isn't because I have all the shows, editing, a life, the gym, eating. Coworker lived in Fort Myers and he loved it. Fort Myers is okay. There's nothing over there. No good food, no nothing. Orlando is hell. Move to East Coast or Fort Pierce. South. Way south of Fort Pierce. What are the nice areas in Florida where there are no hurricanes? None. Because Tampa got hit the years that I didn't get hit. So everywhere can get hit. Definitely moving south one day. I have a lot to do with Mass first, but I'm tired of the weather and the expense of living here. I buy pre-made PTFE core steel braided line. That's smart. Pre-made lines is super smart. South of I-4, southwest, southeast coast are only best areas to live in Florida. Avoid Orlando, Kissimmee, Tampa, Miami. Exactly. Avoid Orlando, Kissimmee, too Puerto Rican. Tampa, too many Chicagoans and Illinoisans. And Miami, Cubans and billionaires and fucking streamers and Russian chicks. The Russian chicks are hot. The Russian chicks in Sunny Isles, but they are incompatible with Western culture. You just shh. Man, I built a turbo kit for my 351 swap 65 Mustang. I will never build another 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. So much junk to run, but I learned a lot and I improved my fab skills. That's where I'm at. Hey, where can I live in Hialeah and not have to worry about anything? That's funny. Opinions on homes in Hope Sound and Port Salerno. I think you'll be okay there. Hope Sound is good. Port Salerno is good, but not all the homes are good. But there's another one called something else. See, up there, everything has an HOA. So you either have a farm that has 5 acres or you live in a community. So everything's going to have an HOA. But Florida is Florida lawmakers are proposing a bill to ban HOAs. Again, Florida's moving in the right direction. Have you figured out a plan for the power steering in the Corvette? No. It's either going to be a Volvo electric pump or manual shit. We'll see. Is Boynton nice? Certain parts are decent. It's getting better. They're gentrifying it more. But there are still some pretty bad areas. But if you just look up Boynton Beach and start looking around, especially closer to the water and west of 95. Closer to the water and west of 95 is good. But in between that, it's really bad. Smoke Alarm Trip says, sorry to revert back to the Corvette, but did you find any info worthwhile? The rerouting, did you think I looked that up yesterday? I went to sleep. I got up. I went to work. I went to the gym. And I worked on the Corvette. I didn't sit there and look up XLR stuff. No, that's later. Listen to these dogs. 26 F-150s tuned, same as 24, 25. Don't know yet. Have not tuned one yet. Yet another win for Florida Chads. I'm telling you, they're going to outlaw HOAs, property tax, and a whole bunch of other shit. So I can't imagine you hating that. Yeah, the Volvo electric pump is probably going to be my power steering solution. But again, I have nowhere to put it. Like literally nowhere to put shit. It's going to have to be like in the fender somewhere, which believe it or not, there's a lot of room with Corvettes like in the fender. That's why the turbos went there. Why the fuck did HOAs ever become a thing? To keep things nice and pretty. Florida House passed the HOA ban. It's going to the Senate now. We'll see what happens. Nice. In Cali, passing LA and main cities, it's all desert. Does Florida require front license plate? No. Florida doesn't require bumpers. Florida doesn't even check if you have headlights. Like, when you're registering, no front license plate. Tint is a little sus because the brothers love to have 0%. I'm like, so you want to get pulled over? And someone said to me the other day, hey, I said hi to you the other day. I'm like, where? I saw you in my car. Oh, the one with 0% tint. And then if you wave at me, I can't see shit. Yeah, fuck HOAs. Have enough of that bullshit in Illinois and Missouri. Hey, Alex, off topic. With the 01, what scavenge pump are you using? I forget the name. I might do an update video this weekend because I feel bad. But there's just not enough there to make you go, oh, there's an update, you know? But I'll update you on the 01. You're going to look at it and go, you've done nothing in a month and a half or 2 months. I'm like, I've done a lot. It just doesn't look like it. How dare you try to make time for normal, essential life? And I appreciate you, Theo. Alex, why do LSLT guys always run the meth and E85 when trying to achieve higher octane? When Coyotes, all you have to do is E85. So I don't know, but LT, I would say because of the DI, right? Meth is easy. It's an easy chemical aftercooler, I guess, but you can do the same thing on Coyotes. It's just not popular, you know, but I've seen guys like, a couple of guys here that I know have actually put meth in their cars. They relocated their IAT sensor to the manifold, and you see it actually mitigates high IATs. It does a really good job. So I'm not an advocate for it because if you have good intercooling, that's great. But if you have, let's say, a Pro Charger, okay, a Pro Charger is just going to be a hop. And an ESS kit. ESS kits have the worst intercoolers. So do Pro Charger. That's where they lack. Vortec, not 100%. I would say all centrifugals, when you start going past 15 PSI, mitigating the IAT issue is a thing. So a lot of the people just relocate their inlet air temp sensor to a brass one that goes in the manifold, and then we tune it as such, and then they spray meth down the fucking thing, and it really does help with the IATs. Centrifugals specifically. You say the 1920 Mustang gets the saucy stuff. Is that the same for the F-150? Yeah. Well, believe it or not, the better F-150s are 21 and up. According to Junior. The better F-150s are 21 and up, 24 being better than 21 to 23. And it's 100% what Ford did to the valve body strategy and stuff on 21 to 23. The Mustang 21 to 23 did not get the MG computer. It got the TC298. The truck 21 and up got the MG36, if I'm not mistaken. And then the Mustang got the MG36 in 2024. I think. Don't quote me on that. But then the 24 F-150 got the MG55 computer, if I'm not mistaken. And you could see that the shifting characteristics got better and better. And that's, I think, revised valve body strategy, revised computer tuning, better spark cut in between the shifts. It just got better. And that's why the people that tune the modern Mustangs that have never tuned them before, they have some success. It's because the car is already good. You understand? The car doesn't need that much to run really good. Like the tuning is, believe it or not, pretty much damn near done. If you just leave most of the stuff stock on 24 and up, it just performs. When you start to get saucy with pre-24 Mustang stuff, that's when the rubber meets the road. That's why the fly-by-night tuners got with the new shit, because they can piggyback off of that. But you need to understand, the 11 and 14 is still a massive market. So unless they can do that, I don't care what they do with the new shit. They can have the new shit. Would KRC pump setup work? PBH has GM pump options. Yeah, look, I got my girl's car from Florida. Those cars don't even come pre-drilled from front license plate bolts, and they're never rusty. They're really good. Alex, what do you think about the new 6.8 liter Mustang? TDC next week, baby. Sunday. On Sunday. I'm sorry I could not get one in yesterday. I tried to have a life. I can't just live stream every day unless I don't have a job. Then I live stream every day. Off topic, bought a 2025 FP700 package from a dealer. Is there anything you could recommend before I bother Lund to tune it? You got to get their tune out of it, Anthony Perez. The tune is the issue on those trucks. Get that fucking tune out of there. Off topic, bought a 25. Oh, got it. I drive my golf cart up and down A1A with a fake tag. Florida doesn't give a fuck if you act right. Exactly. Florida does not care if you're not doing stupid shit. Even the G4 intercooler sucked. Abso-fucking-lutely. Again, above a certain boost, because people are going to go, mine is fine. Oh, with a 125 millimeter pulley, I'm sure it's fine. ESS needs a GF4. No, I've seen 140, 150 IATs at big boost numbers. It's not that great. You could use a complete electric power steering rack from a Mustang. They work really well for swaps. Really? I'm going to do that on a Corvette. If it fits, I'll make it work, but I don't think it'll work. Diddy's lube bottle. Hey, Alex, I just bought a 12 Shelby with a 2.6 pulley, 10% overdrive, and a 65 millimeter CJ JLT plan to swap to PMAS. How much power do you think it'll make? Zero. Switching from a PMAS from a JLT to a PMAS, it will make 0 more horsepower. It'll just have a cleaner MAF signal. But a 2.6 upper, 10% lower on a stock blower, 520, 530. You'll make full bolt-on Cobra power. You need a TVS. He said underdrive? Oh my okay, wait a minute. Jay Swish, 480 horsepower. If you have a 10% underdrive pulley, you'll make 480. No, okay. In actuality, you meant overdrive. Please tell me you went overdrive. You didn't do the thing where you go, you guessed it. I got a smaller pulley for my blower for more horsepower, and you guessed it, smaller underdrive, smaller balancer pulley for more horsepower. What was that? Nate Stan? What's his name? Nate Stan?
Dear mister, I'm too good to call and write my man.
Fuck you. He said 10% underdrive, but we get what you mean. Anyone able to help tire advice for the rear of the C8? Leaning towards ET Street, it says, but running 20s on the back. Currently assuming that wheel size is going to make traction difficult. Why don't you get the Toyo R tire? Toyo R tire. Why don't you get the Toyo R? Hey, 20 inch. Get the Toyo R. 20 inch. 20 inch. 2 inch. Come on. 20 inch. Bro, get the Toyo R. C8 Corvette. Yeah, bro. Toyo Proxys R. Check them out. Check out the Toyo R. You're gonna be making 800 plus horsepower, dude. You don't want to fuck around. You're gonna make 1,000 horsepower in the back. You don't want to fuck around. You get the Toyo R. You get the Toyo R, bro. Stupid. Yeah. I don't think they come in big boy size though. I don't know. I would look at the R and the SS. They do have a 20-inch ET Street R. I'm not a huge fan because Mickey Thompson, I think, makes kind of a shitty R tire because it feels lumpy. You know, it feels like Mickey Thompson is just failing us with how their ET Street and ET Street SSs feel. Like if you let the car sit for 2 days and you take off, it's like, it feels bumpy and lumpy. So I don't know if the belts have issues or what, but generally from my experience, a 275 6015 have been like weird. Hoosier's making pretty badass stuff. So I'd look into Hoosier stuff. I'd look into Toyo R's if they make it in your size for that. Yeah, Nate Ryder, that fucking guy. Guy's a fucking weirdo. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, and the 555 R2s in my GT500 are fucking fantastic. So, but you're making more power, but you're mid-engine, so you might not have grip issues. I'm out of here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. We talked about the ZR1X beating the Lucid Air Sapphire in a Hagerty race. Even though the Lucid Air Sapphire posted a quicker time, it lost. But it's so cool to see an ICE vehicle getting after it, same price range as the Lucid Air Sapphire. So tuning, TX2K happening. I think we're going to see some cool shit, hopefully, next week. We talked about California going after the people that are registering their cars in Montana to get around the vehicle tax, the high taxes that California imposes on you, but they're going after them and they're catching them for felony tax evasion and like money laundering. Pretty crazy stuff. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back on TDC Sunday, and I'll be back on Peasant Chat in the morning, 9:30 a.m. We'll talk some shit then. We'll talk about TX2K prep, what to expect. I ain't going. I'm going to be here working, giving you guys tunes. I don't know if the Lunds are going. They have been secret. I have not heard a peep, so I don't know what's going on there. So stay tuned on the Lund Racing channels, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to see if they announce anything going to TX2K. But assume tunes are going to go out like normal because my ass is staying behind and taking care of everything. Have a good rest of your day, guys. I'll see you guys on Sunday morning for the Peasant Chat. See you later. Bye.